Good morning. My name is Olakule Awoyale from Kakadu, Asylum Oppurtunity. We are an organization here in Germany, in Osnabrück, and we have offices in Hamburg, Hildesheim, Hanover, and Berlin. Kakadu come into existence because of our experience here in Germany as foreigners. And based on the popular demand about how we as foreigners coming to Germany to seek asylum. So in this podcast, we want to inform the general public, especially with Africans, the situation as foreigner when you want to seek asylum in Germany. Most of us, we come to this country without getting properly informed about the asylum situation in Germany. Are you in Germany to claim asylum? You are in Germany to claim asylum. We are here to tell you about the asylum procedure in Germany and your right and obligation. Fundamentally, you have the right to an asylum procedure. Now the question is, how does the asylum procedure work in Germany? That is the situation upon arrival. Registration after arrival. As soon as you arrive in Germany, you need to register with the state authority, for example, the police. Explain that you would like to apply for asylum. You will then be sent to a nearby accommodation facility for asylum seekers, where you will receive initial care and accommodation. As an asylum seeker, it is generally possible to freely choose where to live. Asylum seekers are allocated to different regions throughout Germany where the asylum procedures will be carried out. You thus might be asked to travel to another federal state before or after your registration. If your family did not apply for asylum together, you can still apply to live with your husband, wife, or children under 18 years. The place of residence of other relatives only can be considered in exceptional cases. It's also important for us to know when we apply for asylum in Germany, there are conditions attached to it. As I said earlier, seeking asylum is a human right. Asylum seekers are entitled to multiple benefits, although under certain conditions, according to the German government laws that was promulgated in 1993. The asylum seeker benefit legislation, which are entitled to medicals, social benefits, housing. The question is, what categories of asylum seekers are eligible for benefits? You have the right to get accommodation, food, clothing, personal hygiene, medical benefits in case of pregnancy, birth, or acute illness. When you arrive, you conduct medical tests on you, you take your information, and they also give pocket money to themselves and their family. Now, how do you apply for asylum? How do you apply for asylum when you arrive in Germany? You will be received at the reception center or the registration office. You'll be officially registered once you express that you are seeking asylum. This is done by different state authorities such as the police, the reception center at which you live, on arrival center, your personal data, photo and fingerprint, will be recorded during registration. As proof of your registration, you will receive so-called proof of arrival. This is an official document and proof that you have been temporarily allowed to stay in Germany. With this proof of arrival, you have the right to basic services as an asylum seeker in Germany. However, each adult has to file his or her application in person. If you do not speak German, they will give you an interpreter, which are part of the job we do as Kakadu. They send for us. If you are not understanding German, we interpret. For English-speaking country, we have also colleagues here who speak French. They will interpret for you when you go for the test. Unaccompanied children, kids under 18 years, are considered to be underage and cannot undertake many legal action themselves. We have the Youth Welfare Office. They take care of them if they enter the country without their parents or legal guardians. They are either accommodated by relatives in the city. If they have relatives here in Germany, the government can allow them to stay with their relatives, or they take them to a youth center or they put them in a foster home pending the time they will get to the age of 18. And for unaccompanied children, they have the juvenile court. They appoint a legal guardian. The person who is appointed will legally represent the child, because unaccompanied children cannot file for asylum application on their own. Before they turn to 18, they can only be filed by the legal guardians or youth welfare office. The legal representative or guardian accompany the kids to his or her personal interviews at the Federal Office for Migration and Refugees. Another situation is if an unaccompanied minor is recognized as refugee, he or she can have his or her parents join him or her in Germany by means of family reunification. Which state is responsible for your asylum process? You know, when you arrive in Germany, after they receive you in the camp, you undergo all these medical tests, they give you accommodation, allowances, and other stuff, and you have done the proof of arrival in Germany that you can stay. Then they have another stage where they will now decide whether Germany can take care of an asylum situation. Before the federal office, they will first decide whether your asylum process can be processed in Germany. And why do they do it? According to European law, the federal office personally question you regarding why you flee from your country of origin. They will first examine whether Germany is actually responsible for asylum processes, because each application for asylum will be examined once according to European Union and the countries of Switzerland, Norway, and Liechtenstein. Because the law states that the country you first step in will decide your asylum cases. However, if you arrive For example, you are coming from Nigeria, or you are coming from Togo, you are coming from Ghana. The point of contact is the first country you step your foot on. If, for example, you are coming from Nigeria and you arrive in Norway, from Norway, because you are not satisfied or you feel that your target, your aim is to come to Germany. When you arrive in Germany, the federal office will look at your case. Where did you arrive first? If you arrive in Germany, which means Norway, which is the first country you step foot on, will be in the position to treat your asylum application. That is where and when you first enter Europe. The determination of which state is responsible is based on the fixed criteria that are laid out in the so-called Dublin regulation. Your Dublin regulation, which means where you step your foot first, that is the country that will process your asylum process. However, if you have close relatives within the European Union, for example, you are coming from Nigeria, you have close relatives in Norway, this state, the European Union, this state will be responsible for you. Generally, whichever state enable you entry will be responsible for your asylum process, as I said. If you are coming from Nigeria, Ghana, Togo, wherever in Africa, if you arrive in Norway, Norway is going to treat your asylum cases. If you arrive in Italy, Italy is going to treat your asylum cases. So that is the first process. In Dublin, they will look whether your asylum process can be processed here in Germany. When this process is being done, if Germany is your first point of arrival, which means your asylum process will be treated here in Germany. However, if Norway is your first point of contact and you are in Germany, the federal office they will reject your application process in Germany, which means they will now send you back to Norway, which is the first point of your contact. However, you will receive a letter of rejection. Receiving a letter of rejection does not mean that your asylum process will not be processed. But you have to consult or contact a lawyer who will now give reason why you fail your application of sending you back to Norway, which is the first point where you arrive, should be rejected, that your reasons of coming to Germany, and your lawyer have to react within immediately you got this letter, which is very, very important that your lawyer have to respond immediately. Because if such is rejected and you did not apply immediately for them to treat your asylum case here in Germany, they will have to take you back to Norway, because that is the first country you arrive in. But in case your asylum process is going to be decided in Germany, then they will now leave you. You stay in camp for a period of maybe 6 months or 3 months, depends on your process. But if your asylum, the Germans said they cannot treat your asylum you have to go back. You have to be taken to a responsible country within a fixed period of time. Like I said, you can appeal this decision using lawyer. This is only possible within a period of few days. So one should seek lawyer immediately. Now, coming to the main issue, the personal interview. This is very, very important because this is the place where your cases will be decided. So it's advisable when you want to go for interview, seek all the informations that you need, because you have to explain the reason why you cannot go back to your country of origin. At the interviewer will then examine whether you can be recognized as refugee or not. Please, in case you want to go for this interview, if due to the trauma of your journey, maybe you cross from Libya, you cross the sea, if due to the trauma of your journey, and you feel you cannot speak about your flight, or difficult for you to speak about your flight, you can inform the federal office before your appointment. That is, if they will send you a letter where that is the reception where they put you to be staying pending the time your case will be determined. That's why it's very important that you check your letters in your asylum that is the temporary place you are staying. When you get this letter, that letter will indicate when you are supposed to come for interview. This interview is very, very important. Very, very important. That will be the place your case will be determined. And whoever is interviewer is very, very important. So get your act together, get your fact together, because he has to ask you, why do you think it's not convenient for you to go back to your own country? What are the threats that makes you to feel that you cannot go back to your own country of origin? So in this process, you have to bring out your facts, your story. Probably you have documentation, letters, or something to show that this story you are saying about, whether for example, you are being victimized as a political, or your life is at threat, or you have a rape cases, or because of your children, or because of war. And the interview also they will check all the information. For example, you say you are coming from Nigeria or you are coming from Ghana. The interview will look whether your country, as at the time you are making this application, is safe and secure, or they are not having the problem you are claiming. The reason why you come to Germany. Please take note. If your interview, for example, is in 2 days' time and you got a letter, and because of the psychological trauma you face, you feel like, this thing you cannot say it, you will inform the federal office 2 days that you have trauma, that you will like to, you will need a professional helper, somebody who is a professional who will come. They will get someone who will help you in that interview. And you feel that as a woman, you don't want, for example, rape cases, you don't want to, tell your story to the man. You have a right to say, okay, you want a woman to be your interviewer. Example, you are a victim of torture, sexual violence. If you prefer to speak with female staff member of Federal Office for Migration and Refugee, your interview will then be carried out by specifically trained staff members. Please, before you go for interview, we keep saying it, before you go for interview, seek consultation to know which relevant personal situation can be considered for asylum. I repeat, before you go to interview, seek for proper consultation to know which relevant personal situation can be considered for asylum. We have a situation where you just come, you want to seek asylum, you just come, I just want to seek asylum. And you go there, you don't know the relevant situation, why or reason you want to seek asylum. Please, this is very, very important to seek consultation and advice. And that is the essence where Kakadu we have. Because most of us, when we came here and or we have been here over 20 something years ago, we never have the privilege of getting the information that will help us, guide us in the journey of our life here in Germany. Decision regarding asylum. You will receive the decision after the interview process has been conducted. The interviewer, they have listened to your cases. They look at the pros and cons, where you are coming from. Is your country safe? Is it not safe? Are you being threatened? Are your kids also being threatened? Is your life in danger? These are all the variables with the document you bring along with you. These are the variables that the interviewer will consider in making decision for your asylum, whether your asylum will be granted or a refugee status will be granted or not. You will, a decision regarding asylum, you will receive decision in writing form from the federal office, we call it bound, federal office of. So it's very important to inform the federal office in case there is change of address. It's possible where you are being received when you arrive, you are in a camp. So immediately you are being transferred. It is very important for you to notify them your new address where you are being transferred to, because the decision will be posted to you. You will get it in writing. How do you make decision? How do the federal office, the bank, make decision on your asylum cases? One, based on your story at the personal area, like I said earlier, before you go to interview, do your consultation, know the relevant personal situation that will be considered in seeking asylum. Your story is very, very important at the interview. Document presented by you is also very important. The federal office also look at the situation in your own country, and the office has to abide by law in making that decision. They have to see also if the person can be granted refugee status and possibly also as an asylum. However, your asylum or refugee status can be denied. And the federal office examine whether the requirements for subsidiary protections are met. If this is not the case, they will decide whether they have other reasons why you may not be returned to your country. You'll be informed about this decision in the letter, which means as soon as you get that letter, please get a lawyer. Get lawyer. And we thank God for what Kakadu has been doing in this area, because we tell them what to do, we ask them to react spontaneously, we help them to get lawyers and all those stuff when they get such a letter. So these are things you as an asylum seeker in Germany has to understand, that it's two ways. It's either negative or positive. If your asylum is rejected, you get a lawyer. The lawyer is going to appeal why he thinks the decision made by the federal office is not in tandem, which means you are lucky to stay here in Germany. And when your asylum is rejected, the best thing to seek is to seek lawyers' advice, where the lawyer is going to respond swiftly. Now, in rounding up, like I said, if your asylum is either rejected or granted, then if your asylum is rejected, we go to a lawyer. Asylum is accepted, which means you have the residency permit, which will be granted. If refugee status, as per the Geneva Convention, or refugee is granted, they will give you a resident permit for 3 years. Extension is possible for up to 3 years at a time if the situation in your country of origin has not improved. Permanent residence. This is possible after 3 or 5 years. With a permanent residence permit, you can permanently stay in Germany. For this, you have to be able to make a living on your own and speak German sufficiently. A2 status. If you can speak German exceptionally, which is the C1 standard, and are earning your livelihood almost completely on your own, may already give a permanent residence after 3 years. This will apply if you have your constitutional asylum is granted. Constitutional asylum, these are political asylum. These are politicians who have been victimized in their own country, or human rights. Maybe you have been on human rights. These are this same apply. That is what we call constitutional asylum seekers. Please, if you have any problem that you are not clear with, please, you can get to us. You can go to the website Kakadu Ale Suzamen Ifao. Our email is info@kakadu-az.de. I repeat, info@kakadu-az.de. If you have any questions, please, you can write it there. We'll get back to you. We're really happy if you can get back to us, because we really need to get you informed there, so that you also will understand why it is good for us, for you to integrate here in Germany. So we'll be sending this, please pass it around, and as time goes on, if you have any problem or any question that is not clear, please send it to us. We will be obliged to give you the correct answers. Kakadu Alesome Ifao, we are founded in the year 2015. Because of the experience, we find ourselves here in Germany. We have been here over 20-something years. And when we came, we never had this opportunity. Nobody informed us. Nobody tell us what to do. We just face the war front on our own. And we felt that we will not let what we passed through the hard way should not be the hard way for those of you who are coming now. That's why, as one family, we'll be happy to be of help in any way we can. We have been intercessing for family problem, health issue. We are doing the same work of AVO, Caritas. That's our job. So I thank you once again. I remain yours sincerely, Awoyale Olakunle from Kakadu Ale Suzame Ifa. Stay blessed.